SEC competition. So Alabama trying to lift itself today. It makes it a dangerous team, though, doesn't it, Fran? Because this Alabama team not going anywhere for postseason play, not in contention for anything in the league, but can play very loose today and just try to let it rip.
Yeah, no question. Alabama is a talented team, just a lot of youth, and a second-year coach. And second year for coaching is a tough year. So they'll get it going. Rashinda Reed is a great coach, and their program the future is bright for them.
Well, a long rally finally concludes with an Alabama point. Alabama coming off a 3-set loss to Texas A&M. 8 of the 12 SEC losses for Alabama this year have been in straight sets.
Yeah, I think it speaks to the strength of the SEC. There's a lot of veteran lineups and veteran players on the court in various programs, and I mean, we have a lot of teams in the SEC ranked in the top 25, so one of the strongest years of SEC competition in a long time.
An attack error for LSU and a 2-0 lead for Alabama's Crimson Tide. And a service error provides LSU with its first point.
And both sides know that they're gonna have to serve the opponent tough and get them out of system, make them play out of system, which means passing the ball behind the attack line, not able to run their middles because both sides' middles are very effective and efficient.
Flickinger serves it long, so back-to-back service errors, and it's a 3-1 Alabama lead in the first set. Here is Kendall Ray. You talked about her earlier. A 6'3" senior from Highland Park, Texas. She has been very consistent for the Crimson Tide throughout her veteran career.
She has, and she's really worked hard to be fit this year. Really turned into a great 6-rotation player. Scores from the serving line, plays good defense, is a weapon back row. Really impacting more of the game than she did in her previous 3 years.
And Woosie serving and gets it in after 3 consecutive service errors.
And on Woosie with the dig.
There's the big swing by the freshman.
Journey Robinson attacks the block. That's part of the evolution of Journey as a freshman. Many people want to avoid the block, but if you hit it hard enough on the block, the ricochet will take the ball out of bounds, as we saw there.
That's not something that a lot of players coming from high school can understand or appreciate or activate. It's something that you learn as you grow in the college game, right?
Well, and in high school, you don't have the opposing blockers over on your side quite as far, so the blocks aren't as big and physical as what they play against in college. So definitely part of the evolution of every player.
Walk sets it up. It's off the Alabama defender, but apparently not.
Yep, missed him. Just a misconnect between Walk and Alexis Roberson, a redshirt freshman in the lineup.
Alabama off to a 5-3 lead and serving for more in the first set. That is the big swing again from Journey Robinson. Journey Robinson has burst on the scene. She's one of the best freshmen in the country.
She really is, and if Alabama doesn't get to the pin, gave her too much line, Journey loves to hit that crossbody line shot. They're right back, might need a helmet by the end of this.
She'll put a pop knot on you. Mitter serving. And we've had a lot of service errors in the first set.
Yeah,
5 of them between the two teams.
Way too many service errors. And serving at some point is just a focus, mental focus. Make sure we get the pressure, get the ball in the right zone, attack the right passer.
Somebody check the ball. They may have aired it with helium today.
I'm not sure.
6-4 Alabama, first set. Dimps. Great dig by Alabama's Schmier.
And Roberson out of the middle. Both teams are going to want to feed their middles and take the pressure off their outside attackers. LSU able to find a transition swing for Roberson out of the middle in the 3 zone for the kill into the 1-6 seam.
She's a redshirt freshman, stands 6'3", is Roberson. And the block in the middle. Roberson putting up a barricade. 6 apiece, first set.
Yeah, and Kaylee Palmer for Alabama is facing a really physical block between Demps and Roberson. She needs to attack that block and be sure of where she's swinging, get it through them and past them.
And that one is cranked home with some authority. Blasted home by Aaliyah Wells.
And Aaliyah Wells played middle for her first years at Alabama. A late season switch to put her on the right side as they changed the lineup, and she's very effective, blocking a lot of balls and an offensive threat out there. Now she plays.
There's the overpass and an easy put middle. Down.
Yep. She's going to go on a slide attack and attack LSU's left front blocker. And this one is just an overpass, and that's just a gift.
That's Flickinger banging it off the defender. Flickinger had a career-high 57 attacks and 4 blocks last year versus Alabama, and a season-high 14 kills in a match against Alabama just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, this is a matchup that Paige can succeed in. They're not super physical for Alabama blocking, so she is somebody that's going to attack them. LSU will feed her the ball a little more against a team like this.
Mitter keeps it alive on the dump shot. Flickinger tries to push it to an open spot. And a slide step attack results in the point for Alabama despite the effort from Erin Carmichael.
You see Wells going behind in transition, again trying to attack that left front zone of LSU instead of staying in front of the setter, making LSU defend the entire length of the net.
Fran, we talked about it a couple of minutes ago, and you've had many experiences against teams that are in a bad spell, and that's where Alabama is right now. But a good start for Alabama in this first set, and if you're LSU, there's probably more pressure on the Tigers than there is the Crimson Tide right now, and you can't let a team that's been down think that it can win.
Yeah, there's no question. Alabama with everything to gain, nothing to lose. They just need to go out and play, believe in themselves, allow themselves to be the athletes and the volleyball players that they are. And LSU trying to get back on the winning track and create something potentially for postseason.
Well, the Tigers are coming off a 5-set loss in Oxford against Ole Miss. LSU almost pulled off the reverse sweep. Robinson leaves her feet on the back row but can't make the dig. And Alabama, while not pulling away from LSU in the first set, has consistently had a 1 or 2 point lead. It's 2 right now, 10-8 Bama.
Yeah, and this, so far, you're seeing a few positive plays, but this first set has been a set of errors and out-of-system play, neither side controlling the ball very well.
Walk leaves her feet. The same can be said for Schmirrer. And Paige Flickinger finally
off the antenna, so that's
out
out of
it
bounds.
Did hit the antenna, so that's out.
So Maddie Walk sets that ball a little too far outside for Flickinger, unable to bring it cross court.
That's Ector. We talked about her in the open. She has really come alive in a 6-2 formation. And Fran, let's go behind that a little bit. What advantages are there in a 6-2 offensive formation?
Well, when you have a 6-2, that means you have 6 attackers that'll play. So every rotation, you have 3 front row attackers, and your setter's set from the 3 back row attack positions. It gives you a more diversified offense. It allows for better blocking because some setters are not known to be the best blockers. Some of them are, but very few are actually great blockers. And it allows the setters to get 3 rotations to get a flow and see what defense is going, what block scheme the opponent's using, and allow them to kind of figure out their own game plan. So it's a huge advantage. The challenge is the number of substitutions you use. You can't sub other positions if you're going to do that. So you have to have people that are going to stay on the court the whole time. You have to have 6 rotation outsides. So Paige Flickinger becomes Kendall on LSU side, and Kendall Ray become vital if those people are running a 6-2.
This is something relatively new for the Tigers this year as opposed to a 5-1. What are the advantages of a 5-1?
Well, the 5-1 allows you to use back row offense a little more freely. It allows you to be a little more creative and change zones and make the opposing block line up against hitters that are moving zones. Have a little more freedom with your middle to go behind, slide attackers. So it all depends on the skill set of your team and certainly the efficiency of your setting.
We talked to Tanya Johnson earlier in the week, and she's been a 5-1 proponent for most of her coaching career, but has made the switch over to 6-2. She likes what she's seen so far.
Yeah, the 6-2 is used collegiately. Internationally, in the next level, there are not enough substitutions to do it. So true, pure volleyball, you want your setter to be on the court. In a 5-1, it's the same setter running every tempo, and so the rhythm of the team stays more consistent. If you're going to run a 6-2, you have to find setters that are going to have like tempo and create for hitters, and the matchup for that is awfully difficult to find.
Well, right now, Alabama has eased its way to a 14-11 advantage over LSU in the first set and serving for some more. The libero puts it in play. And the point goes to LSU, and that's one the Tigers needed. You don't want to let Alabama start getting 4 or 5 points ahead. It's still a 2-point deficit for the Tigers in the first set.
And this is a slow start for both sides. Neither side really taking control. See who can settle in and really get in rhythm and get in flow. The first contact is a real challenge for both sides.
That appeared to miss, and it did. So now LSU, for the 3rd or 4th time in the first set, has an opportunity to pull even. And that does not make it for Alabama. We've got a 14 apiece tie. And Mitter will go back to the service line again. She started playing volleyball at age 6. Softball is her second favorite sport.
A lot of great volleyball players are also softball players.
The dink shot works beautifully for Alabama, and it brings us to a timeout. So in the first set, Alabama for another year, but she's going to start her cybersecurity career and go ahead and graduate and leave and not come back to play a final year. And she's very, very talented in the classroom, a computer science type person, and she's got a very well laid out career path.
And she'll play beach again this spring. Played beach last year for the Tigers. Play again one more year, see if she can help them to a championship. And she's been important to both programs and a wonderful addition.
Flickinger crams it, but it is rejected, and LSU right there had an opportunity to take a lead but couldn't do it. Alabama 16, LSU 15. This is certainly not a team playing like it's lost 12 straight SEC matches right now.
Well, Alabama's gotten better and better as they've gone. They just have not been on the winning side yet. But they're going to keep playing, and they're dangerous. They have a lot of talent, and as you said, they can play free and just let it go, see what happens. They seem to be doing that today so far.
And LSU has been plagued with a high number of errors so far, too.
Yeah, and the game plan from the Alabama coaching staff, they're doing a really good job of loading up, being out on the LSU attackers early, and really contesting things at the net.
Bama by 2 in the first set. Bertucci serving. That's Demps with one of her first swings. Carmichael keeps it alive, flailing away on the far sideline. But nothing you could do about that, and Alabama has a 3-point lead now for the second time in the first set.
Yeah, and that's on purpose. They're running Wells from the middle over the top of the smaller block out there, getting her to the pin over the top of Flickinger, and Wells is awfully good at that play set.
So LSU finds itself
hitting efficiency stat.
And Kendall Ray, we talked about her earlier, ranks 4th in the league in aces per set and 10th in the league in points per set. She is a very, very high-level player for Alabama.
She's a point scorer. She's not the big physical player. She is physical, but she doesn't hit it the hardest. She hits it in the great spots, great shot selection, and she impacts from the serving line. That's the sign of somebody that's a great volleyball player, not just a great athlete.
3 kills and 3 digs today for Ray, but LSU gets a much-needed point.
It's a nice response by Flickinger coming back after a tough go.
The libero Carmichael serving. Mitter left her feet to keep it alive. That's an overpass, and then Wusi can't put it down. That's a gift to Alabama. Finally, LSU does prevail defensively.
And Onwusi on the play really was smart. If she'd have taken a big swing, she would have been in the net. That ball was tight, so it's actually a pretty mature play by her, and then closes the block, penetrates, and terminates blocking. She got the block stat rather than the kill.
This for the tie. And it's long. Both teams were beset by a lot of service errors in the early part of the set. 4 service errors for LSU, 3 for Alabama. That's the first one in a while, though.
Yeah, the LSU settled in and really started attacking, but that's an inopportune time to miss a serve, and then Alabama goes back and serves an ace. So in the serve and pass game, Alabama able to extend to a 3-point lead just off of first contact.
Earlier you said that Aaliyah Wells, or that sometimes middle blockers aren't the best servers, but here's one who just got an ace on a vicious sinking serve.
And Wells is a good server. There's no question. She gets back and does a great job of putting pressure. She doesn't miss a lot. The tendency of middles, big core of seniors, just as LSU has, but it's a different system that the Alabama staff has brought in, and the team is still adjusting.
Here's Wells. She's out of Memphis, Tennessee, serving with a 4-point lead. This is a very critical point for LSU, and Demps is able to knock it down.
Up into the antenna. That ball
again, yes.
Outside, and didn't have enough room to swing line. Demps chooses still to turn the ball down the line, and unable to get it into the block first.
So it did hit the antenna. That is out, of course. And right now it's LSU looking for a point. Alabama somehow keeps that alive on the back row. What a play by Bertucci. And Alabama cannot finish it, though, as LSU gets a must point. 22-18, Alabama in the first set. And LSU now is serving.
And a good decision by Mitter to go right back to Onwusi in the middle. LSU knows and Alabama knows that their middles have to have the ball. They're the most efficient attackers in the lineup. Have to find a way to get the ball to those two.
And a little shove to the backside results in an Alabama point. Some miscommunication on the back row defensively for LSU. And that is a huge point. Alabama 2 points away from winning the first set with a 5-point lead.
And once again, you see Alabama running the slide attack and throwing the ball deep down the line. It's obviously a game plan. LSU defensive positioning will have to adjust at some point to take that shot away, make Alabama hit their secondary shot.
23-18, Alabama in the first set. Alabama bangs one off the LSU defenders and is 1 point away from winning only its 5th set against SEC competition. They have lost the first set in 16 straight matches. They're on the verge of turning that around. And there it is, the Alabama Crimson Tide, for the first time in almost a year, going back to last November. And Alabama went on a 10-3 run to take charge and win it relatively easy at the end. So LSU now has some work to do, trailing 0-1. By the way, Alabama 8 times this year has won the first set Obviously, that's been against non-conference competition, but each time they have gone on to get victory. So they're 8-0 when they win the first set. And Wusi, with some authority from the middle, gives LSU the lead.
And we've said it a couple of times in the first set. When either side is in system, and so far Alabama's been in system more than LSU, but we see the start of LSU in system. They're going to feed the middle. On Wusi can terminate if they can get the ball to her. Out of system opportunity for Alabama.
Whew. Carmichael was just blown away by that shot.
And Ray showing her power, shot selection deep into the corner. Carmichael unable to take a step and block the ball, keep it in play.
One apiece on a big swing by that young lady.
See a change in the lineup. Sinead Dotson in for Paige Flickinger.
Hector can't put it down. Let's see who they set.
Say Dotson on the right side. This rotation, she stays on the right side and swings in rotation 1 and able to get the ball between the block and the net.
And a good start for her. She's had an up and down final season. She's been really good at times and a bit shaky at times, but that was a nice swing and set up perfectly.
Yeah, Sinead's really had a difficult time bringing consistency to the court, and that's a real challenge from a coaching staff and from a player personnel perspective to know what you're going to get when you get on the court. But nice to see her playing well here with the start, getting the start in the second set, and see if she can get that consistency back and score some points, handle the first ball here.
Palmer just put one down for Alabama. Towns is serving. Some miscommunication between Robinson and Walk. They both looked at each other, and neither one of them was able to make a decisive play defensively. We're going to have a momentary timeout while some moisture is going to be wiped on the floor.
Yeah, and you would expect in this rotation they just went after Dotson in the reception pattern. As we talked about, running a 6-2, you have to have outside hitters that stay in the match. You don't have enough substitutions to rotate a back row player in and out as LSU has previously, which is part of the reason Flickinger's in the court. Great pass by Dotson.
And Lucy tips it over.
And you can see what happens when LSU is in system. They are efficient. The issue so far for LSU has been their first contact and their out-of-system offense, just not efficient.
Roberson rejoins the lineup for LSU, and Wusi serving. That is hit with a top spin, but too lengthy. It's out, and LSU has a 4-3 lead in the second set after Alabama rallied to win the first set. And Wusi firing again. And Wusi will go to the sideline now. Sidney Golson, a 5'5" junior from Keller, Texas, will put it in play for the Crimson Tide. Point LSU.
And Hector again on the right side, able to tool the block. And Dotson, a nice job by Dotson of being in coverage position perfectly on the sideline to be able to judge that ball was out of bounds.
Emily Mitter will be serving, a graduate student. That's off Robinson, and then out of bounds, point Alabama.
It's a really good shot by Palmer. 4-4, high, sharp cross into LSU's left front. Journey Robinson unable to handle it. Robinson in no man's land.
Bertucci out of Chicago by way of Northern Illinois, putting it in play on the serve, and that's down inside the baseline for the point. Nice angle, nice pace, nice direction.
Yeah, that's a great job by Robinson of getting her feet to the ball for her third kill, high over the top from the right side. Typically hits on the left side, but in this rotation, lined up on the right and able to come up with a huge kill for LSU.
Once again, the open spot is found by Alabama. Carmichael from the back row just could not get there in time.
Yeah, Carmichael, I think, rushed that play. I thought she didn't have to go to the floor, probably had time to run through, but thought it was a little bit more difficult than it was.
Here's Aaliyah Wells, who had a productive first set. She's serving from Memphis, Tennessee, a graduate student for the Crimson Tide. Mitter with a sliding save there, and now Alabama finds the open spot in front of Carmichael again. That was vacant. Carmichael really had no chance that time to get there from the back row.
Well, it's a difficult thing. You know, the LSU block is stacked in, and when your left front blocker stacks in, left front should rotate up to the sideline, but when it's a first tempo ball, awfully difficult to be that far ahead of the play.
Dodson can't roll it over, and Alabama now on a run. 8-6 Crimson Tide.
So that was maybe the hardest shot she could possibly try, off the net, trying to roll it short. If you're off the net, should send that ball deep into the corner, give your team time to reset.
Alabama is looking for its fourth straight point. And there's a swing which provides it. 4 straight points for Alabama to take a 9-6 lead.
And this is a rotation. Wells serving against LSU in the first set was a rotation that they had some runs, and she's doing a nice job again extending the lead here for Alabama.
LSU in trouble in the early going. Alabama leads 9-6. LSU
swings.
is in trouble here on its own court after losing the first set and trailing now 9-6 in the second set. Carmichael's threw that ball too close to the net.
Well, and Alabama's called for being over the net. Carmichael did a good job of getting her feet to the ball and contacting it on LSU's side, forcing the blocker just have to chase that. Campbell had to be a little more patient. Ball didn't get into the plane, therefore the offensive team has the right. Defense cannot reach over and touch it.
Carmichael with a good serve. What an effort by LSU, but Dodson and Carmichael could not get it back in play. They sold out defensively, but it's still an Alabama point, 10-7. This Crimson Tide team is not looking like an 0-12 SEC team.
No, they're playing with confidence. They're attacking. They're assertive.
This is Dodson. Dodson again. Alabama rejecting every opportunity here. Great. This is the longest rally of the match. Fine play on both sides. And then Rusi kind of whipped on it, got a little bit out of rhythm there, and Alabama prevails after that ball exchanged sides many times.
Yeah, you've heard us talk about the center-hitter connection all year, and Onwusi not in the correct spot to be given that ball. Mitter needed a little better vision to know that Onwusi not really available to be able to kill that ball.
So Alabama prevails after a very long rally. It's 11-7. Crimson Tide now make it 11-8. Jade Demps from the right side. That's her first kill. LSU needs more from her.
Yeah, Jade Demps was really good early in the season and has really struggled as of late. LSU needs the right side attack. Ector has come on. Now Demps needs to come on, and the right side attack will be impactful for LSU.
Here's Walk, a political science and business major. She wants to become a political analyst. And that misses. It's an LSU point.
Yeah, just long. Again, they're trying to run through the right side. Looks like we might be getting a challenge from Coach Rashinda Reed.
This would be our first one of the... And the call will stand. It's an LSU point. You might have a career as a review official.
Oh, maybe, yeah. I'd like that. There's a lot of things to look for. They're educated. There's a certification process to be able to even sit in that chair.
That's Anwusi. And she'll get another try here, and with the full swing, she bangs it home.
And Anwusi, and you would understand, she connects better with Maddie Walk, setting her, than with Mitter. Walk set her most of the year, and Walk wants to force that ball into her, knows her window, and does a great job of giving her a swing she can put away.
Dodson. And put down by Ector.
That's a great job by Ector to be patient. A lot of players get impatient, jump early, and try to do too much with that. She just waited. You can see her waiting. Just let it get down to her and make errors. 10 kills, and now they're 9 kills, 1 error, hitting 400.
That's a dramatic improvement, hence the 1-point lead. Dodson with the dink. Point LSU. And Walk will go back to the service line. We talked about her affinity for political science. She says the person she would most like to meet is Winston Churchill. That's not an answer you would get a lot from a college student.
No, not at all.
Fine play by Dotson with her back to the net. That touched an Alabama player on the back row, and LSU is on a run.
And the positive out of that from the LSU side is they got a free ball. It didn't get a perfect pass out of a free ball, which you would expect, but LSU still able to convert and score.
A 7-0 run. Make it 8-0, and LSU has its biggest lead.
And my curiosity as this match started, LSU has really targeted Kendall Ray in the serve-receive pattern. And could she sustain and hold on the entire match? They're getting after her a little bit, and she's making a few errors here late.
That is out, and now Alabama appears discombobulated on the other side of the net after playing so well in the first set and early in this set. And a timeout for Alabama. You know, I want to go back to Maddie Walk.
We saw out of LSU in the first set, the script has flipped. At this point, who comes out of this timeout and who has composure?
Walk is at the service line again. She started playing when she was 9 years old. And Wusi with the big swing. I think she thought it might be headed back toward her, but she had too much oomph on that swing, and LSU is rolling now.
Yeah, and we continue to say it. They're going to set their middles as much as they can. Not a great opportunity. Anwusi making the most of it.
Indeed she is. 5 of her 6 kills have come in this set for Anwusi, but Alabama finally breaks the long LSU run.
Yeah, LSU, the ball control in the first set just wasn't such that LSU could feed their middles. A big flip in the ball control, balls to the target, and LSU able to run an in-system offense in this set.
So 10 straight points by LSU finally is ended. Alabama trails by 5, 17-12. And the point goes to Alabama.
Now on the touch, I think Journey touched it off of her left arm, reaching out. Maybe a late call in or out. They're really attacking the seam in between Ellie Ector and Journey Robinson.
Ector off the defender, point LSU. 6 kills for her. She shares the team lead with Anwusi.
Really nice high shot, not trying to do too much with it, just hitting the shot that the set gave her.
The Tigers are hitting .462 in this set. Robinson rips it.
That's great patience by Robinson for her 4th kill. High ball out of system. She waits, step closes, and finishes with authority.
What do you do with that ball if you're on the defensive side? You just watch it hit the court and turn your back.
As a defender, you have to be out from behind the block, and I think the Alabama left back ended up rotating behind the block, leaving that portion of the court open.
The Crimson Tide comes right back with a nice strike of its own.
It's a nice response. First ball kill from Alabama.
Robinson. And that appeared to be out. It was. Robinson starting to heat up a little bit. LSU by 6 in the second set after losing the first set.
Yeah, block timing for Alabama a little bit just late. The ball when the ball travels that far off the block means the block is on its way up rather than pressed over on contact.
The overpass, but it did clear the net to prevent the gift. Almost another overpass. LSU gets back in control, but now Alabama on the swing. And that one is banged off Hemmings on the back row, and not much she could do with it.
Yeah, Hemmings came in to serve for Onwusi. Plays left back, and she's a great defender and a very successful server, just with running the 6-2, as we've talked about. Can't sub many positions, so you have to pick and choose when you're going to use that substitution. Coach Johnson choosing to do it at 20, hoping to steal a couple of points. They run Journey Robinson inside on a 6 or a 32 ball, and Alabama blocking very disciplined ahead of the play. Nice job on the defensive side.
This is a big point for both sides. And it is captured by Alabama.
You can feel the momentum changing. You can feel the
LSU is leading in the second set, 20-17.
And LSU with 15 kills this set, Alabama with only 10. Alabama hitting 207, but remember they were at 050 earlier, slowly creeping up and becoming super efficient. LSU still hitting 419.
Robinson once again. And her teammates greet her with big smiles after that whack.
And that might get Journey going. That's the first clean opportunity that Journey's had all match. A perfect pass, a great tempo ball out to the antenna, allowed her to really have a free swing for the first time.
4 of her 6 kills have come in this set. And now LSU with back-to-back points.
Yeah, Robinson really managing the match very maturely given the opportunities she's had. But that might get her going.
Robinson now hitting 455.
Great hustle.
Really good effort by Ray. Robinson, yes, she smokes another one.
Yeah, and she changes her shot. She's successful cross court. This time goes high line off the right side blocker, who's a little bit late, and a smaller blocker with the setter out there.
That sails high, and that service error breaks a run by LSU. But the Tigers are 2 points away and leading by 5 in the second set.
It's a nice answer from LSU out of the timeout. We talked about the momentum changing. Now they've seized the momentum. Can they continue to hold it to finish out the set?
Bertucci serving. And smashed home by Robinson again. Boy, she is on fire right now. Hotter than a Rolex in a pawn shop. Robinson at the service line again. There's an overpass. Alabama survives it. Back row attack. LSU rolling. Roberson follows Robinson, and the two R ladies get it done. LSU wins the second set, 25-18. And Fran, we saw both teams with momentum.
With a special season, and more yet to come from Journey Robinson.
Second in the SEC in kills and points per set, and in the top 5 as a freshman nationally among all teams. That's what's called an impact player in her first year.
And we knew she would be special. We just didn't know how quickly she would be able to insert herself into the lineup and earn her way in. And she has worked her way. She's a tireless worker and a great student of the game.
LSU finds itself trailing 1-0 and now 1 apiece in the third set. Back to Robinson for just a moment. She's got 8 kills as we get to the third set. 6 of those kills came in the second set, and Nwusi had 6 kills as well in the second set. So it was Nwusi in the middle, Robinson from the pin, and other places, and they combined for 12 points.
And they have to have 2 people that are going to score that number of points. The question for LSU is who will go with them. You need 3 scorers, and so far they have balanced out because Nwusi and Robinson were special. Can they do that again? Or is somebody else going to pick up a few kills?
That ball was tipped on the way out. It's a point to LSU. And Nwusi maybe got a break there. The Tigers were able to scrape the hands of one of the defenders.
Yeah, I got the touch. That's a high swing. Difficult angle, but fortunate for Nwusi, got the touch.
That ball comes up short. You know, I've always been kind of amazed, puzzled, when I look into the faces of coaches whose players have just served an ace, or an error. They're just kind of placid. They're just kind of, well, it happened. I mean, I know you're boiling on the inside.
Well, it depends on the error, honestly. If it's an assertive error that you make a decision, sometimes you're willing to risk a little bit. If you're serving in the net, that's the frustration. Nobody had to make a decision. So just 2 different types of errors. And you have to serve tough in the sport. You can't just serve an easy ball. The other team's going to side out at will. Dig by Nwusi.
Robinson with another blast. 9 kills for the fabulous freshman.
Yeah, Nwusi gets the ball high enough on her first contact for Walk to go stand under the ball and deliver a tempo ball to Robinson.
She'll leave a scar where she hits you.
She hits it hard.
That's way, way long. Off the right arm of Palmer.
Yeah, Palmer's a freshman, and she's going to get better and better. Just out of system is tough to understand what to do, and you go hunting for high hands. When you miss, it looks like a bad miss, but it's actually not a bad shot selection. She just barely missed the high hands.
And Nwusi with an ace. I asked her what most people don't know about her, and she says, I'm really a good dancer and a good singer. I have not seen her dance. I've not heard her sing. I would have to defer to a teammate. What do you think?
I think she can dance. I never heard her sing, so I can't speak to that.
So 50% of that at least is correct.
Yes. The question is, can the server continue their run? You don't end your run with a service error.
That's a great serve. It sunk right before it got to the baseline. An ace for Nwusi. That would be AAA. Ace Nwusi. Anita Nwusi. She has a career in pediatric physical therapy in her plans.
Her mother is a nurse and always wants to be part of the medical field and help people.
Can you say ace again from Anita Nwusi?
And a completely different tale in all 3 sets on the scoreboard, and if you look at hitting percentage, that will tell the result. Alabama getting the first set, hitting .310, and then LSU owning the next 2 with a lead in the third.
And perhaps a little bit of an overswing or something too quick from Palmer. Never really snapped it down. Looked like that was going to be a point for Alabama. but she was unable to drill it into the floor.
Yeah, and as a young outside, she's trying to go high hands off the top and just missing.
And then Wusi misses by a bunch, but it was an effective turn at the service line.
Yeah, I would say in her career, that's one of the longest serving runs by Anita Onwusi, and nice to have it on senior night.
3 aces, 3 errors.
And as a coach, she'll take that. If you have 3 aces, if you have a 1-to-1 ratio, that's a great ratio of serving.
That's nice work defensively by Aaliyah Wells, a 6'2 graduate student. 9-4 LSU in the third set. Alabama surprised the Tigers and won the first set. LSU was able to find the accelerator in the second set. And now we're in the third set. Another point to Bama.
And just a little tight on the LSU contact passing. Needs to go up instead of forward. Hips need to be lower. Sometimes later in the match, legs are a little tighter. Don't play as low to the ground. Tends to send the ball forward rather than up in the air.
That ball is headed this way, and so is the Alabama defender, and what a play by Palmer. Number 11 and in white with a great save right in front of our broadcast position, and that was terrific effort by that young lady.
A great fight. They're not going to quit. You saw Alabama is fighting through all the way through every single play. This is not a team that you would think had not won in the league. They are fighting for every point and every opportunity.
We're going to let you see the action from the end zone camera. This is a very nice angle from which to watch a match.
Yeah, you can see the flow. You can see the plays develop and the defense make changes.
Here comes Alabama.
And a nice response by Alabama just to fight through. There's just no quit in them.
5 straight points for Alabama to pull within 2. Here's the end zone shot again. You can see every player on the court and where they go.
You like to see the movement in the serve. To see the ball moving.
Hector, dump shot. Point, Bama. Wow. High tide, low tide, and right now Alabama is running on a high tide.
They really are, and their blockers are doing a great job of contesting everything LSU has, really funneling the ball to their defense and giving them some great transition opportunities they can feed the middle with.
6 straight points for Alabama. After trailing 9-2, make it 7 straight points for Alabama. So LSU with a run to get this thing started in the third set, and now LSU has to call a timeout because Alabama has come from a 9-2 deficit to tie this game.
Yeah, and the first
lead changes and 27 ties in that matchup. Right now, Alabama on a run, but it's ended with a big slam from Journey Robinson, and that was a swing that stopped a 7-point run.
And Robinson carried them in the second set. They need to get them into a better situation. Good for her 10th kill. Good in-system swing for Robinson.
10-9 LSU by a point in the third set. Demps is long. She was looking at the official for a touch, but is not going to get it. Jay Demps has not been a factor offensively yet in this game.
Yeah, really hasn't had many opportunities either, but just not able to come through. Seems to be just out of rhythm with the setter, not setter-hitter connection, just not very good yet.
Sydney Golson serving, and that is long.
Golson really trying to get some pressure. LSU pulling Dotson out of the pattern, pulling Demps in. Golson going after that seam, but unable to execute it.
Here's one of the best freshmen in the country at the service line, and she's a good server as well. Robinson on the back row now. Oh, that's well done in the middle. Very well defended in the middle of the court.
Yeah, and they want the ball to Wells. If they have an opportunity, just as LSU wants the ball to Onwusi. There's 2 veteran middles that have impacted their teams for 4 years. Those 2 want the ball as much as possible, and they're going to come through for their teams.
This service position is in the extreme corner. And the dink shot touched home beautifully by Sinead Dotson.
Dotson did a good job of being under control. That was a dangerous play. Demps forced to handle the second ball. They're so far out of system. Dotson does a good job seeing open court and just forcing the ball in there.
Dotson had a birthday just a few days ago on November 1st. 23 years old. Happy birthday. Her nickname is Noodle, by the way. I have no idea why.
I think
why
that's
it's Noodle.
because her arms are like noodles. Good transition opportunity for LSU.
Back row attack from Robinson. Noodle on the swing. Somehow keeps it alive. Oh, this is interesting. People are scrambling everywhere, but finally LSU hits it off of the defender at the net. That was the touch. That ball sailed long, but it was touched in the court.
And typically the team at this juncture of the set that wins the longer rally go on to win the set. We'll see if that holds true today.
There's Noodle. An ace for LSU to take a 3-point lead.
It's a really, really good job of Carmichael of attacking a seam in between two passers. Make them make a decision. If they don't communicate early, leads to a negative contact or an ace.
Carmichael working on a master's degree in kinesiology.
Bottom fell out of that.
Demps tries to dink it. Point LSU and Wusi and Demps rising in the middle.
Yeah, nice job on Wusi and Dempster. It's a huge block against this outside, against Ray. Able to get on Wusi a little bit late with her hands, but still able to keep the ball in the court.
Did you know that Carmichael has a twin? She'll be serving for LSU, but it looks like we've got a challenge.
But
it is a point LSU. What's the youngest player you ever offered a scholarship?
probably 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so still maybe
offers,
with a couple of years left in high school.
Yeah, that sophomore year, people are getting offers. Some freshmen are getting offers. It's really early. It's, in my opinion, too early. A lot of growth and maturity needs to happen those high school years.
Carmichael serving again, 15-11. LSU leading in the third set. But that won't stand up on a big swing from the right side. It's now 15-12.
We see Wells on the slide again, and they were very effective in the first set and haven't really been able to use it as often as they'd like to. And that was a very impactful play for Alabama early. And they can get back going, they'll get right back into this set.
Wells serves at Demps. Demps comes right back and smashes it home. Jay Demps has not been a factor offensively, but that was a nice swing, and it resulted in her second kill.
Yeah, she snapped the ball through. She held her arm, waited, and then just snapped it through under the block. That's a very mature, seasoned veteran swing.
So Maddie Walk will put it in play for LSU, the 5'10 sophomore. That appeared to be long and untouched, and it was.
Just again, Alabama going for those high hands and just missing. And if you're watching, you think it's a terrible swing. It's not a terrible swing. It's an effort to hit off the top of the block and expand court, and they're just missing. And
a lift violation called against Alabama. So LSU now
ranked, and Georgia at one time was ranked, and A&M was getting votes. So many great teams in the SEC this year. The depth of this league has truly, truly increased to maybe the deepest ever.
So the best of the SEC, when the NCAA tournament rolls around, the best of the SEC in postseason play could get how far, you think? maybe to the Final Four?
It all depends on the draw. I think Arkansas is physical enough, and if they get the right matchup, they're a really good team. You feel bad for Florida. They've had 3 major injuries, but they're still standing toe-to-toe with the top of the league. Kentucky's a late start, but is really coming on. They got Reagan Rutherford, their right side back, who played here against LSU and had a great match and is really getting on track. And you have Tennessee, who's as physical as any team in the country, and A&M's awfully good. And Georgia beats Arkansas. I mean, there's so many matches. And Auburn, one of the best seasons ever in Auburn history. The depth of this league is incredible, and there could be a team that sneaks into the Elite Eight, and once you get there, anything can happen.
Speaking of Auburn, LSU will go to Auburn a little later in the season.
Yeah, and that's a tough matchup for anybody. Auburn at Auburn is a tough match.
Robinson cranks it home. That's a difficult angle, and she hit the bullseye.
Yeah, and that's her favorite shot. She hits that cross-court shot better than she hits line, but she loves to turn the ball down the line. I tell you, that's a special 4-to-4 shot in the seam of the defense, not right at the libero.
That's a fireball to the open court. Off the block and the point by Alabama.
Yeah, and that's the high hands they're looking for. It kind of deadens the ball, and then they can't quite get there. I think they're trying to exploit the fact that LSU has a tendency to block high rather than pressing low and over. And in this match, LSU doing a nice job of staying low and over and not extending their hands above and extending court.
That was the freshman, Kaylee Palmer. She's one of the taller players at 6'4" for Alabama. Out of Ohio. Walk, sets Ector, and that one got a piece of a defender on the way out. Point LSU, 21-15 in the third set.
And you just see how patient Ellie Ector is. She waits, she lets the play materialize. She drives hard and picks her shot late. She's not somebody that predetermines her shot before she jumps.
Mitter misses long. 21-16. LSU leading in the third set. Alabama won the first set. LSU took the second. Robinson is part of that block. She's pretty darn versatile, isn't she? I mean, obviously she gets headlines for her offensive work, but she brings the whole package.
She does, and you see her celebrate blocking. Blocking is the most difficult skill, and when you get one that goes straight down, it just makes you feel so good.
She hits a very difficult serve. It's an ace.
I think she's fortunate. That ball looked like it was going to be out of bounds cross court. Passer didn't quite judge well enough.
Robinson's numbers tonight include a double-double. It's her 5th of the season, 11 kills and 10 digs.
Yeah, she's played a complete game.
She dinks at another ace. That time it was a changeup and she floated it home.
Yeah, short zone in front of the passer.
Not everybody can do that with that kind of accuracy.
No, you work on short zones a lot, and typically in that match, short zone ends up middle of the court, and you don't call them very often because people aren't very assertive with them, but able to execute that. Carmichael with a good opportunity.
Dodson strikes it home. The LSU Tigers have rallied at the end of the third set, and it was Dodson who put it home to give LSU a 25-6. Ector, who wears number 16, just looks fresh as a daisy. It doesn't matter whether it's the 5th set, 1st set, whether she's been training for 3 hours. I don't get it.
Yeah, she's just this calm, consistent performer. She just does her thing, she does her job, and she's going to execute to the best of her ability every time. I loved coaching her.
LSU has had its share of aces, almost got one off the tape, and that is out. The Alabama miss wide right. 2-0 Tigers, 4th set.
And that's a nice job, LSU blockers, of forcing that ball out of bounds. As a middle blocker, you're trained to miss the block, not challenge the block out of the middle of the court. And LSU block took away the middle of the court, and that time not taking away the middle of the court and got tooled.
So Alabama scores off the LSU defender. 2-1 Tigers, third set, make it fourth set. LSU, after losing the first set, captured the next two. Two apiece now.
An effort, if Ector's going to have an issue, it's passing, and she's on target, but she's tight. And she's made that error a couple of times. If she'll just bring the ball back closer to the attack line, they'll be able to run some offense. But they'll go after her again, I would assume.
And by tight, you mean it handicaps the next toucher.
Yes, yes. You want to better the ball for the next person. So the person that contacts the ball second or third has an easier opportunity than the last.
Let's check Kendall Ray's numbers. She came into this match 53 kills, short of 1,000. Let's see if we can get an update on her. She's got 6, so she came in, 46 kills
46
short of
after her outing on Friday night against A&M.
So she's 40 short now of 1,000 for her career.
You see Paige Flickinger coming in to play the back row positions for the outside position.
Flickinger will serve from one of the wide spots. Flickinger's a good server, and she's improved in that over the course of her career. LSU, Robinson, Flickinger, that might have been out, but she went ahead and put it in play. And Robinson again tools it off the defender, and it took a hard right turn once it banged into the hands of that defender.
I think it's good that Flickinger played that first ball so many times. That play changes the momentum. If it's close, oftentimes it falls in and everybody's kind of demoralized. So a nice play by Flickinger to give Journey another swing.
A point for LSU.
And again,
after the miss from the freshman.
The LSU block is doing a nice job of channeling the ball, taking away the Alabama attackers' first shot, make them hit a secondary shot, and they're just not as comfortable in making some hitting errors.
And by channeling the ball, you're referring to taking away some of the aim area, and so that you're forcing that striker to hit the ball where you want the ball to be as opposed to where they want it to be.
Exactly, and Ector right on her with her right hand. That's a great block, and that may be the biggest celebration we've seen out of Ellie Ector this year.
6-3 Tigers, a nice run here to start the fourth set, but that one's dinked in the middle of the court. Nicely done. And so Alabama breaks the run, 6-4. Vic Schmurr is serving. She's played in every match this year, and Rusi can't get it to go down. Carmichael will set up Robinson, and that is just hammered.
Journey, that is her favorite shot, and if you leave her inside a little bit, she snaps that ball off, and it's awfully hard to defend.
Kaylee Palmer was in the way of the shot, and that's not where you want to be.
You have to make a decision. Either you're going to stay back and dig the hard driven, or you're going to get all the way across for the roll shot, and Palmer staying in between, which is kind of no man's land.
Robinson again. Hotter than salsa on sunburn. Block assist. And coming to the point where she normally does, and that is a big contributor in a lot of ways for the Tigers. Another ace.
Yeah, and LSU serving still causing the Alabama reception some issues.
So number 11 on Anwusi's jersey matches the number of aces that the Tigers have had today.
And Anwusi's accounted for a lot of them in a a role that she typically doesn't have.
She's got 4. Does Anwusi, 4 aces. Point Alabama. Some sort of infraction for LSU.
Robinson was under the net. As she went, she rotated and her feet went all the way to the other side of the net.
That's one of those rule book errors. She was not intending to cause an illegal disruption, but by the book, that's a problem.
Yeah, they'll give you a little bit. If your foot goes across and doesn't touch the other side, it's not a problem, but if your foot goes and touches the other side, it's a danger for the opponent, and they're going to make that call every time.
That's Palmer. That's well done by the freshman. That was a mid-range shot. She saw an opening and just put it in there.
Yeah, for a 5th kill and tried to go high, kind of miscontacted it, but it worked out for her. Roll shot in off the top of the block, slowed it down for LSU as well.
An ace for Alabama. One thing about the Tide, they have responded quite a few times to LSU runs today. They haven't just folded the tent and threw everything in the station wagon and started driving home. They've been gritty. They're in a terrible tailspin in the SEC. They haven't won a match. They've only won 5 sets the entire SEC season, including today. But it's not a team that is just out here to take up some time. It's a team that's going to get better.
No, they're playing hard, and they have some good pieces. They just need a few more point scorers on the pen, and Ray's carrying the load that she has. Palmer's going to get better and better, but a freshman into that role is difficult. We see what Journey Robinson is able to do, and that's a special freshman performance.
Mitter couldn't keep it in play from the back row. Alabama with a point, trailing only by 2. Alabama must win this set to extend it to 5.
Yeah, and LSU's defense just has to be stopped and balanced when the hitter jumps and they're impatient charging, or they're still moving back to their adjusted position.
Bertucci will serve out of Chicago, Illinois. She's made 5 starts this year. That's Robinson. My, oh my.
And Robinson does a really nice job of being patient. It's not the best opportunity, but she waits, lets the block press cross court, and hits outside the block down the line into open court. Gibbs gets the ball back. It's a nice play by her.
Another long rally. This is Dotson trying to finish it. And she does. Cross-court shot, left side to right side, and Robinson, or rather, Sine Dotson hammered it.
Yeah, nice swing by Dotson. She actually accelerated, which that's been missing a little bit, just a little uncertain with her setter connection, able to finish.
Ooh. Not a whole lot you can do about that.
And we've seen Wells on the slide be successful against these left side blockers. Every left side blocker has been attacked by the Alabama game plan, and Wells has been successful against each of them.
Wells has started every match for Alabama. Had 17 kills for her career best.
Just missed by Journey. Coach Tanya Johnson thinking about challenging a touch, but I didn't see a touch, and her staff said, nope, don't challenge.
She has not challenged today. LSU has not officially challenged anything. Alabama twice, and LSU won both of them. That's Robinson, who almost overran that, Roberson, but Roberson was able to still get a good piece of the hand on the ball and snap it down.
Yeah, and wasn't able to create a great approach angle, so difficult connection for her setter, but Mitter does a good job of getting the ball in there to her in front of her arm in her window.
13-10, LSU by 3, serving for Moore. Carmichael at the line. Overpass. Dotson gets the point. Boy, that's like a big, heavy hors d'oeuvre after you haven't eaten in a couple of days, isn't it? I mean, I got to have that one.
You got to have that one.
14-10.
You get those opportunities. Those are must-finish opportunities.
Good serve. Palmer, yeah. That's a good-looking freshman. She's got a bright offensive future in front of her. That was Ray, though, I think.
Yeah, that was Kendall Ray.
It was Kendall Ray on the point, but I'll still stand by that statement on Palmer.
Palmer's going to be a nice player for him, no question. Chase Campbell in the net. You could tell by the way she landed and turned. She was a little frustrated with herself.
By the way, another accomplishment for Callie Kiefer. Her 7th double-double this year. She's got 25 assists, 11 digs. So she's been involved.
She's run a nice offense. She's exploited. She's run the game plan. She just hasn't had the ball in her hands enough to really control what's happening on the Alabama side because their passing has been out of system. And there you have Ellie Ector being patient again for 10th kill. Double-digit kills for Ector. It's a great outing.
16-11, LSU by 5, trying to end the day. Well done by Jordan Towns, a 6'6" freshman, 5 kills for her. She's from Loganville, Georgia. She is the tallest player on the court.
And Towns is another talented freshman, just gaining experience, is going to get better and better the more opportunities she has to play.
Ray serving. Almost is able to float it in ahead of Robinson. There's Palmer. We spoke about her earlier. She's got a lot of physical tools. She's a first-year player.
Yeah, that's a great 4-4 inside the block.
This is a very important part of this set, hence the match for Alabama. Trailing 16-13, needing a point. And Wusi says no.
Yeah, it's a good chance. It's a good choice to go to Ray back row, give her a swing, see if she can steal a point there, but unable against Onwusi to come through. I don't think Onwusi actually blocked the ball, but she may get credit for the block.
Yeah, she was there. Ball came up short, 17-13 LSU. Flickinger floats it deep, almost an overpass. Now LSU will have a free swing by Robinson off the chest of a defender. Well played by Kiefer defensively on that stroke, and Alabama not able to prevail. LSU gets the point.
And there's Ector again to finish for LSU and put another point on the board with another kill.
That's her 11th. She just does it quietly, doesn't she?
You don't notice her. You look at the stat sheet afterwards and you're like, wow, she really did have a special night.
Carmichael catches up with it. There's Onwusi. When she gets it there, just put the point in LSU's column.
When Onwusi will accelerate like she did and swing and not wait for the ball, let the setter feed her super fast. She jumps and swings. Not many people can defend that. You have to totally commit to that. That's the tempo that LSU would love to run, just haven't been able to control the ball well enough to do that.
LSU by 6 and now LSU by 5. Palmer's going to be good.
Yeah, there's no question. Palmer has a whole lot in the tank. Just a freshman playing through an SEC season is a challenge.
There's Hector again off the defender. She's not a high flyer. You're not going to see her all over the court, but she plays very intelligently and does what she does very well.
Yeah, she just plays volleyball. She's a scorer. She's not going to bounce the ball. She's going to be impactful, not impressive until you look at the stat sheet at the back end of the match.
Hector's next kill will tie a career high. Hector has 12 kills. Her best is 13.
And the team is urging Coach Tanya Johnson to challenge, and Hector looks at her and says, no, I was in the net. So, again, a mature player, understanding the circumstance. Don't let your coach waste a challenge, although LSU has both challenges left, but still obvious that she was in the net and able to own it and say, hey, that's my bad.
Dolson serving. Hector, one more time. That's 13, a baker's dozen, and that ties a career high in kills.
And what a great job by Maddie Walk to come back, right back to Hector after she made an error and let her make it right.
Hector is hitting 500 right now. That's off the charts. Her previous 13 kills came not long ago against Ole Miss in the last match, that 5-set match that the Tigers nearly converted into a reverse sweep. Right now, the Tigers are closing in on beating Alabama.
And the difference was that was 5 sets. We're at 4 sets right now, and she's equaled that total. So even more special performance than she had Wednesday night.
LSU 3 points away from a 4-set victory. Palmer had it rejected. Roberson was there. Dodson also in the vicinity.
But you have Samara Hill in.
Yeah, I beg your
pardon. Coach Johnson getting the seniors on the court the most she can. Samara
nice.
Hill's senior night. Letting her play right side to finish this out. Hopefully they can finish it out. Obviously an impact. Comes in with the block.
It would be nice to see Hill get a chance to swing, don't you think?
It would.
Get an opportunity to score here as LSU is just 2 points away. 23-16. The Tigers trying to take care of business in 4 sets. One of Hill's best matches came against Alabama back in her sophomore year. She had 5 aces and 5 blocks against this Crimson Tide team several years ago. There she is. There she is.
And there's a kill.
And it brings LSU to within a point. Watch Hill rise and fire.
And a huge seam. Great job by Roberson to pull the Alabama middle and create that seam for Samara Hill to end it.
Journey Robinson serving for the match. Nearly got the ace. Hill saves the dink shot. Dodson tries to push one over. Dodson, 24-16 LSU, and there it is. It's long, and the Tigers, after losing the first set, come back to win the next 3 relatively comfortably. 25-16 the final score in the deciding set as LSU beats Alabama in 4.
चल के बा बंदे के ए भोला समय पे से भमिया तोहार सिर्फ संडे के बुझो जी अब करे हमारे इंतजार पिसन संडे के सुन
कितनो दिन तो ठंडे के
सोने पे सैम भंगिया तुहार सिर्फ संडे के अब करे हमारे इंतजार सिर्फ संडे के
जल्दी मान जा तू और नहीं लेट आज भी हमको तो ऊपर हम जल्दी
सफरों ना बूझने में हर के परेशानी सारा धुआं धुआं हो जाला अपन दलानी
भगतन के भीड़ लगल बा
और दर्शन लोग पागल बा
खुशी नी चुनी रो मलक देवी के बाटे फलल लोगे आइल बाटे तो मंडे के
समय सहम भंगिया तुहार सिर्फ संडे के अब करे हमर इंतजार किस्म संडे के
ऋषभ रिकॉर्डिंग स्टूडियो सिमरा।